Hi Stampers, I'm Meg from Maker Mornings with Meg and LovenStamps, and today is Friday, so I am excited to share some projects with you that feature designer series paper because, of course, you know, on July 1st we started our DSP stock up sale. So I'll share some more about that. But the project that I'm going to show you is perfect. If you are a denim lover, you're gonna love this project. And if you want to give it a little bit of flair for the 4th of July holiday, you can of course do that really easily. So I'll show you that as we go along. But the paper I'm gonna feature today is from the Sweet Symmetry suite. You say that as many times fast as you want to. But these are the designer series papers, and they are a lot of gorgeous little tiny patterns, and we're gonna use one of them that really, I'm gonna show you why it works really well, because it goes with the punch and stamp set. I'm running out of hands here. That coordinate in Symmetry here is actually a punch bundle. So I'm gonna show you some things with that, a great stamp set, and then of course this gorgeous designer series paper, which is 15% off. So, all right, you guys, good morning. You guys ready to get stamping? I'm gonna flip our camera down this direction and we will get going. Okay, so to start with, I have our, let's see, I think we're a little crooked here. To start with, I have our card base, and from all of these paper choices, I kind of flipped through and I decided that I wanted to go with this sort of denim look, which this one is perfect for. Now, so it's really monochromatic. It's night of navy and, you know, shades and tints of that. You could do the same effect in other colors with some of these other papers, Bumblebee here or Calypso Coral, Just Jade. This one's 40 Flamingo. You can see it's just a little different shade there between those two. So you could do the same kind of card effect with a different monochromatic look with the same designer series paper, which is kind of a fun thing, because we're going to go ahead and take a piece of it here, and I've just cut this to 4 inches by 5 1/4, and I have this set to go on to a basic white designer series or basic white card base, and the cardstock that I'm using for this is the thick white. It's got a little bit of extra bulk to it, which means first of all, you wanna make sure you score it to score your card with a trimmer or with a simply scored board. You don't wanna just fold it because it's gonna bend and crack along that line. So you wanna make sure you give it a good place to do its folding. All right, and then I'm gonna bring in here our piece of paper, but I promised you a great showcase for this paper with the punch here. And gosh, I'm like having a mind blank on the name of this punch. Let me look it up. It's the Symmetrical Stems Border Punch. So we had the Sweet Symmetry suite with the Symmetrical Stems Border Punch, for saying 5 times fast. But I decided that I wanted to go ahead and give this a little bit of background flair. And so rather than always layering on top, sometimes it's negative space that works well. So I'm going to set this on the side, and I'm gonna punch all along the side. Now, if you haven't used a border punch before, I'm gonna give you some tips for this. Now, I want the top of my image to cut actually a little bit off the top of my paper, because I don't really want it to be like 2 branches and 2 branches with, like, you know, perfectly centered. I really want it to look like it's just cut out of a long strip of this paper. So I'm gonna slide this in and it's gonna cut right where it shows here. I'm gonna slide it in just a little bit below and go ahead and punch it, okay? All right, now I know that you're so used to using punches upside down, but this one you're gonna use right side up, okay? So we'll take a look at that. So see, we've got our 2 pieces there. And now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna slide this back in, but I'm gonna slide it all along here until you see how this is lining up here. Do you see that silver? Maybe I'll turn it a little. The silver border, there you go. And as I move my paper, eventually it's gonna line up perfectly. Now, when it lines up perfectly, that is where I'm gonna stop moving it and I'm gonna punch again. Now, the trick to this is you have to make sure, see this stopper ledge here along the bottom inside, you have to make sure that your paper is all the way flush with that stopper border so that you get a straight punch. So let's go ahead and move this across here. I've got it pushed all the way in, and then I'm gonna go ahead and punch it. All right, and then we're pretty close to the end, but I've done a good job of kind of spacing it where I want so that I can have just that one little bit left. So again, I'm gonna move it in, I'm gonna slide it down until the design lines up here. There we go, and then I'm gonna keep it straight, and I'm gonna punch that last little bit, and there we have our border. And then we have these fun little pieces here, which are a great thing to hang on to. Some of the catalog samples for this one show using those in sort of a bunch of different places. So here's actually a really pretty view of them all kind of punched together, and then sort of bundled a couple of those here at the top. So, all right. So let's go ahead and set these pieces aside for now. And I'm gonna set this aside. We're gonna bring it back when we get to our little punch of red. And then this, now you can see, has a gorgeous border on our card. So that really kind of sets the stage for our multi-layered card. And I'm gonna go ahead and put some adhesive on. Now, I don't really wanna go along here because I don't want my seal to poke through the holes there. Sorry, my hands are blue, not from this ink, but actually because my printer exploded. Yeah, anyway, I'll show you the flyer here in a second that I was printing for our video. Okay, so I'm just gonna use my multi-purpose liquid glue, which is great for fitting into small spaces, and then I can bring this back in here and line it up to attach there, okay? All right, so there we have our card base done. So now we're gonna need some things to add to this. So we're gonna use our in Symmetry, and here's the flyer that exploded on me. So remind me to show you at the end, I'm gonna show you some of the other designer series paper samples, because I have samples for all 9 of these ones that are on this list. So we'll come back to that. Okay, so lots of images to choose from here. And the ones that I'm gonna choose, I think I'm gonna get these big images on here. We're gonna use the Hey Friend greeting, but in a different way. But I need a place to put those. So I decided to reach out to my Tasteful Labels dies here, which come in a whole bunch of different sizes for different occasions, but they're pretty, they're like a nice decorative touch, but they don't have a specific style to them. So they're very flexible. And this is the one that I picked because it's gonna fit nicely down here at the bottom of our card. And so I have that piece cut from basic white cardstock, and it's gonna go down here kind of like so. All right, so let's see. Let's go ahead and stamp some of our pieces here. I've got another piece of basic white and my Night of Navy pad. And I'm gonna go ahead and stamp this big flower here, and then the set of leaves to go under it. And then these we're gonna go ahead and fussy cut. Now, I know that feels like, oh my gosh, I hate fussy cutting. It's really not that bad. Just hold your scissors steady. I know this is where everybody pipes in, they're like, no, I don't like fussy cutting, Meg. But hold your scissors steady, and then you can just turn your paper with your other hand while you're cutting, and that will help you get a nice clean line as you're cutting across here. So, all right. And I kind of like to leave a white border. There's definitely a different style that doesn't leave a white border. I was actually flipping through the new catalog, which you guys haven't seen yet, sorry. It actually comes out August 3rd for stampers. Demonstrators can pre-order now from the holiday catalog, but otherwise it'll be out in August 3rd. And if you're one of my customers, keep an eye on your mail, because you'll be getting a copy of it in the mail later in July. So you'll get to see it, sort of the sneak peek then. But anyway, there's a sample in it that has this cute little squirrel set, and they cut their squirrels super tight with no white border. And I was like, ooh, that looks really nice. I'm gonna have to kind of try that. So watch for that coming up from me sometime soon. Well, sometime after August 3rd when you guys can order from that. Okay, so now I have our 2 pieces, and these are going to go here on the side of our card. And I wanna put in my Hey Friend greeting, which is this one here. But the problem is it doesn't fit very well because it is a horizontal greeting and we have sort of a vertical narrow space. So let's first of all move this out of the way because we don't want to stamp on something that's moving. And then I'm going to show you a trick with your stamps, and this works really well for photopolymer stamps. Now, of course, you could use your Stampin' Write markers, the round ones, and you could color just the word hey and stamp it, and just the word friend and stamp it. But I actually prefer using my ink when I can, because I like the image effect that I get. So what I'm going to do is ink really carefully so that I've inked only the word hey, and I'm going to go ahead and stamp that. And then I'm going to ink the word friend, but I need to make sure hey is really clean, which is where my chamois comes in. My chamois is like an ink magnet. So if you don't have one of these chamois yet, I highly recommend getting one, but you can then test it and know that your stamp is 100% clean. And then ink the word friend. Get it one more time on there. There we go. And so now I can stamp friend underneath there. Okay, so now I have a hey friend greeting from my horizontal stamp, and I might as well just clean this now since we're talking about it. Okay, so think about your stamps. The other solution to get that sort of effect is to go ahead and know that you can always cut that. So put it on a strip of paper and then cut it in places so that you can get that. And are you guys digging this denim look? I love Night of Navy and white together. Such a pretty combination, and it feels really summery to me. I don't know, maybe sort of chambray-ish or something like that. Okay, so this actually is a really sweet and simple card. We could quit right here. We could figure out how to bring back some of these little pieces that we punched if we wanted to incorporate them. But I decided to go with a different look so we can sort of connect this white layer to the background and the foreground so that it's a little bit more part of the card. So we have lots of blooms to choose from, and I picked this one right here. So I've got this mounted, and again, I'm going to bring this out of the way, and I'm going to take a look at kind of where our open spaces are. Now, I don't want to fill all of the open space because some open space really helps to balance a card, but I'm going to fill some of it. And so I'm going to put one down here and one up here, I think. But instead of using this full strength, which would kind of compete with this flower focal point, I'm just going to go ahead and stamp off and then stamp on my project. And you can see that I get a denim shade that's just one tint lighter than that dark flower that we put on top, okay? All right, so now I can bring this back in here, and let's go ahead and pop some dimensionals on the back. If I pop 2 of these on here, and then we're gonna have some embellishments. We're gonna stamp on the inside, and then I'm gonna show you that 4th of July version if you're looking for cards to celebrate. So, okay, and then these guys, I'm gonna go ahead and put a dimensional under the blossom part so that this pops up, but I'm not gonna put one under this bottom part. This, I'm gonna grab my multi-purpose liquid adhesive again, which the order number is 110755. I do really like this stuff. I order it a lot. And then I'm gonna pop this under here and slide that in, okay? All right, so now we have our card pretty well set, but I wanted to bring in some embellishments. So I pulled a whole bunch of different things to try and kind of, wanted to look and see what we think of them. So this one, is the Elegant Faceted Gems, and they come in peach, and there's an opaque one and then these little clear gems. So those seem like they could be kind of a good fit for this card. I grabbed my opal rounds, which are a little bit more opalescent, so they're a little bit more elegant, so that would kind of dress up our card a little bit. I grabbed our 2022 in color gems, which are squares, which are really fun. And actually, I think that they would be kind of a fun continuation of the blue there to throw a couple of them on, so that would be a good choice. Or if we're gonna throw in red, we have, of course, our red gems here, the red basic rhinestones, which would really add a little bit of a punch there with our red look. So I don't know, what do you guys think? Faceted gems, opal rounds, square gems, red. All right, we're gonna go with Elegant Faceted Gems. So I'll pull these in here. You know what? Okay, I'm gonna show you what it looks like with the Elegant Faceted Gems because I already did one, okay? And then we can do something different for this one. You guys can decide which one you like best. So here are the elegant faceted gems. I kind of put 3 here because our focal point there is really around our greeting. So can you guys see those? Kind of pretty. Okay, so that's the elegant faceted gem version, choice 1. I love having all these choices on hand too, to kind of pull out the ones that, you know, you can kind of take a look at them and see what you think. So when you have an order that's, you know, approaching a certain amount to like qualify for a card kit from me, a LovenStamps card kit to go, like if you're getting close to $50, think about adding on some gems and a kind that you haven't tried before. So, okay, let's go with red because we're going to add the red embellishments to this one. So let's see, where's my take your pick tool? I'm going to do my slide and slap. So slide, and I kind of like where they ended up on the other card, so I might go with that. Same kind of arrangement, slide and stick. There we go. I feel like we might need more of the red ones though, so I'm gonna go ahead and put, let's see, there we go. Okay, so we've got 5, we've got an odd number, always a good choice. And then I'm going to bring in our punch again and some real red cardstock. You can also go with Poppy Parade. I know these 2 colors, when you put them next to each other, look really different, but honestly, both of them look great with the Night of Navy and the white. The Poppy is a little bit less intense. It's a little bit brighter. The red is just a little more saturated, a little bluer. It comes out looking a little darker. I think I'm gonna go with this darker one here. And since I'm just using this to punch the pieces to use, I'm not gonna worry too much. I'm just gonna flip it over and punch it again. I'm not gonna worry too much about where on my paper it's punching. So that gives us another way to kind of use that same border punch that we did in the background. And then I kind of like these just to sort of decorate this side of our card here. Or I don't know, maybe I should put some, oh, I kind of like that over there. That way we're kind of going across our focal point to kind of keep you kind of moving that direction. So let's go ahead and bring our multi-purpose liquid glue back. So what do you guys think of the red rhinestones? Did those come out kind of the way you expected here with our red cardstock? I'm gonna slide this under here. There we go. And then these 2, do maybe one at a time this time. When you do this, you want to avoid sliding the glue across the paper where it's going to be exposed. So just be a little careful that you're not like spreading glue everywhere because this is going to stay sticky if you let it. So I'm kind of, I'll show you this from here. I'm kind of holding this up like this. Can you see that? I'm kind of holding it up here so that it slides under without actually, there we go. Without actually spreading glue everywhere. Okay, so there is our card front. Now we need to decorate the inside of the card. And I'm going to open this up. One of the great things about the basic white is that you don't have to worry about your ink bleeding through. So, or the basic white thick especially. So I'm gonna bring in this navy and I'm gonna stamp here on the back. I'm gonna stamp off once and then maybe do 2 of them. So there's the back of our card. Then you could put your little signature back there. And then we're gonna come up here and I'm going to use a different floral. So we'll get this out of the way. I'm gonna use this one here. And then we'll put the stem under it, I think. So you know what? I'm actually gonna do the stem first because I don't know how far down to put it. Now, when you have a stamp that's this narrow, you wanna be really careful that okay. Sorry guys, so what I was saying is that I'm gonna put that stem on first, and when the stamp is that narrow, you wanna be careful not to rock it and pick up extra ink. And then you can add those 2 leaves there to get the left and the right image. Let's see, yeah, there you go. And that pretty flower on top. Okay, so what do you guys think? You like the red version? I've stamped our envelope too with a little bit of extra bonus on there. So we have our 4th of July version with the red accents, and then we have our just our regular denim version here, sort of with the flowers and just the navy. So lots of good possibilities for this. So the paper for this, of course, is from the Designer Series Paper Stock Up Sale. So this is the one side of the Sweet Symmetry paper, and then here's the other. You can see our blue there. So you could make this same card, this same monochromatic card in any of these colors with the Sweet Symmetry paper. It's a really nice flexible paper. Other papers. included here in our special, so that's Sweet Symmetry, are your Peach, which is here. This is one of the papers that I featured for a designer series paper card base. When you have a stock up sale, it's a great time to take advantage of DSP stock up or DSP card bases. Here's another one with a DSP split, and these are on my blog if you're looking for these project ideas. Here is the Beauty of the Earth paper, and I just showed this card at least as a sort of quick snapshot recently. Also a DSP card base. As you're like headed into fall a little bit and thinking about fall projects, this Beauty of the Earth is gorgeous. It actually has winter paper, spring paper, fall paper. It's kind of a seasonal effect, so lots of good choices there. Let's see, we have In the Wild, which is here. This is another split front cart that I showed recently. So there's the envelope to go with it, and then that DSP there with this awesome tiger set, which I was not in love with until I saw one of the samples in the catalog, and now I just love this. Have a wild birthday, super fun. Okay, here's a card. I'm using the hand pen paper. This is by Anna Masternak, who's another demonstrator, and she swapped with our group. And so this is the hand pen paper, and I love the way she mimicked it with a stamp and then just used strips of it here in the background. So sorry for the glare. There's a fun hand pen. Another one that's on sale is the pansy paper. This is a pansy card from my blog that I showed with this sort of faux buckle card, and you can see how the papers come together. And these flowers are pansy die cut, but from the paper, so they're professionally colored images, and all you have to do is cut them with the dies. So pansy is on sale too. This one is a card by Joni Reinert, Tidings of Christmas, and she used this paper, the Tidings of Christmas paper, both here as the strip and then here as this background. So this is actually not in the holiday catalog that comes out on August 3rd. This is in the regular catalog. So that big one that came out at the beginning of June. And then finally, I have a card that features the Bloom Where You're Planted. This is by Amy Story. And she used this brick and this paper here are both from the Bloom Where You're Planted paper, and she stamped these images here. And I've shown you this Bloom Where You're Planted stamp set and bundle. So much fun. So good ideas there. So that's the 9 choices of things. Oh, I didn't show you one of In Good Taste. Actually, I have a really cool In Good Taste card to show you. This one was sent to me by Shannon West. She's one of the demonstrator development managers, so she works for Stampin' Up! And she sent me this card when I crossed my 800,000. And I love it because it features not only the paper that I want to show you, but also the super die set that we used on our Symmetry card. So this Tasteful Label dies. And you can see that she just sort of created a sort of like almost a quilted kind of design with the labels in the different spots. And it's the same label set that I used for our Sweet Symmetry card today. So that gives you an idea of this In Good Taste paper with all these amazing textures. Can you kind of see there's like fibers and blankets and tiles and wood grain. All of this are in this paper. It's a really gorgeous package. So, all right. So that I think kind of sets us for today. I hope that you guys have an absolutely fabulous 4th, have a wonderful weekend. I will not be here on Monday. I know Maker Mornings with Meg is usually Monday, Wednesday, Friday, but we're going to take off on the 5th since it's a bank holiday. We're going to take that one off too. So I hope you'll take that morning, instead of like gathering with us to watch a video, take that morning and do something creative. So make a card, share a card with a friend, do something that sort of, makes you happy or shares joy with somebody else. And I will be back on Wednesday with another project for you. So thank you guys so much for watching. Have a super fabulous Friday and happy 4th of July to you. Take care.